The Burden of Glory, a devotional for the season of Lent, produced by Northside Church. Wednesday, March 18th. Our scripture passage today comes from 2 Chronicles, chapter 28, verses 14 and 15.
So the soldiers gave up the prisoners and plunder in the presence of the officials and all the assembly. The men designated by name took the prisoners, and from the plunder they clothed all who were naked. They provided them with clothes and sandals, food and drink, and healing balm. All those who were weak they put on donkeys. So they took them back to their fellow Israelites at Jericho, the city of palms, and returned to Samaria.
When King Solomon died, the nation of Israel was torn apart by civil war. 10 of the tribes kept the name Israel and took the land in the north, Samaria. The other 2 tribes retained the south and Jerusalem and were called Judah. These 2 brother nations shared the map for the next 200 years or so, but they never healed the rift, and there was no love lost between them. In fact, our story today takes place right after a huge clash between Judah and Israel. It had been a good day and a victorious battle for the north, as Israel slaughtered over 100,000 of their brothers from Judah, taking twice as many of their wives, sons, and daughters into captivity. But as they were marching this caravan of sadness back to Samaria, they were warned not to enslave their fellow Israelites, as they had planned to do, first from a prophet of the Lord, and then by the leaders of Samaria itself as they approached the gates. Their guilt and shame aroused, the soldiers of Israel surrendered their prisoners and plunder, turned around, and took them back to their home. But before they did, the Israelites took the prisoners, and from the plunder they clothed all who were naked. They provided them with clothes and sandals, food and drink, and healing balm. To be sure, these 2 nations have a complicated relationship, but at this particular moment of the story, the Israelites of the north, who would go on to form the Samaritans, and the Israelites of the south, who would become the Jews, are literally blood enemies. This is a feud and rift that would continue into Jesus' time, as we've already seen, and that for some continues to this day. And yet, even though they are enemies, when God calls the northern Israelite soldiers to release the southern Israelite prisoners, they not only comply, but they go above and beyond in clothing and caring for them. Those who were too weak to walk, too beaten to move, were placed on donkeys, and then the whole lot of them were taken to Jericho. Samaritans carrying beaten and broken Jewish folks to Jericho after they had clothed and cared for them. Does that sound familiar? This story is the source of the Good Samaritan parable itself, and the lesson is the same. Whatever our relationship or history may be, when we see someone who is in need of clothes and care, even if they are an enemy, we are seeing Jesus himself. The question is, are we going to bear the burden of glory and clothe them?